Welcome to Gospel Music USA, your home on the television for great Southern gospel music. This is Mike LeFevre of the LeFevre Quartet, and I am...
And he's not sure, obviously, but this is Danny Jones of the Singing News magazine, and we are honored that you have joined us today. Today, I would say, is probably going to be one of the most exciting shows that we've ever had. Would you go so far as to say that?
No, not really. I know who the guest is.
I would go so far as to say this may be the ratings topper.
No, probably not. Probably not.
I would go so far as to say this could be the most exciting guest that we've ever had as well.
Not going to happen. It's just not going to be
Danny,
here.
you got to go along with me or we're on TV.
Well, I know that. But anyway, we don't want to leave anybody with the wrong impression. We still have a good group with us today, a good group. Well,
come on.
They're better than average. They're a good group. Anyway, we are glad that you have tuned in to Gospel Music USA. Our guest today is him and his quartet.
I did bring the other guys.
Yeah, which is a good thing because somebody has to cover you up. Anyway, hey folks, we want you to sit back and enjoy it. That means you go leave now.
Okay.
That means it's time now to hear from our very special guest this week. And honestly, these guys make up one of the best quartets in gospel music today. Would you say hello to the LeFevre Quartet?
Well, the sun's gonna come up in the morning, and the joy of the Lord's gonna rise with the dawn, and He'll write mercy into your story. The sun's gonna come up in the morning. Sun's gonna come up in the morning. Well, the sun's gonna come up in the morning, and the joy of the Lord's gonna rise with the dawn, and He'll write mercy into your story. The sun's gonna come up in the morning. Sun's gonna come up in the morning. Ever had a bad day that you couldn't wait to end? Ever needed a second chance to do it all over again? Well, here's the good news. When you lay down tonight, there's gonna be a clean slate at the first sign of the light. Well, the sun's gonna come up in the morning, and the joy of the Lord's gonna rise with the dawn, and He'll write mercy into your story. The sun's gonna come up in the morning. Sun's gonna come up in the morning. We live in a crazy world, and it sure can get you down, but the love of God is greater, and it'll never run out. So when you feel like you're at the end of your rope, don't you ever give up. Don't you ever give up. Keep holding on to hope. Holding on to hope. Well, the sun's gonna come up in the morning, and the joy of the Lord's gonna rise with the dawn, and He'll write mercy into your story. The sun's gonna come up in the morning. Sun's gonna come up in the morning. Well, the sun's gonna come up in the morning, and the joy of the Lord's gonna rise with the dawn, and He'll write mercy into your story. The sun's gonna come up in the morning. Sun's gonna come up in the morning. Well, the sun's gonna come up in the morning, and the joy of the Lord's gonna rise with the dawn, and He'll write mercy into your story. The sun's gonna come up in the morning. Sun's gonna come up in the morning. Well, the sun's gonna come up in the morning, and the joy of the Lord's gonna rise with the dawn, and He'll write mercy into your story. The sun's gonna come up in the morning. Sun's gonna come up in the morning. He'll write mercy into your story. The sun's gonna come up in the morning. Sun's gonna come up in the morning.
Here's another brand new song from our latest CD. It's called Sailing Away.
I can get down about the troubles in life, wrapped up in all the worry and woe. Yes, I know it's got a lot of stresses and strife, but I wasn't made for this world below. I'm a pilgrim on a mission, just passing through to a destination destination divine. Don't know how I'm going, but there's one thing I know, my transportation will arrive right on time. I'm going riding, rising, leaving, traveling, sailing away. Riding, rising, leaving, traveling, sailing away. I'm listening, watching, waiting for the trumpet to sound. Then my feet are finally gonna fly off the ground. High above the sinful world, one heavenly day, I'm going sailing, sailing away. The pearly gates are gonna swing open wide. The angels will all welcome me home. Streets of gold, mansions fair, and oh, what a sight to see the Father there on his throne. Every trial on earth will be a memory then, fading in the light of the Lamb. Hallelujah, I will spend forever with him. He made a way with his nail-scarred hand. I'm going sailing, rising, leaving, traveling, sailing away. Riding, rising, leaving, traveling, sailing away. I'm listening, watching, waiting for the trumpet to sound. Then my feet are finally gonna fly off the ground. High above the sinful world, one heavenly day, I'm going sailing, sailing away. I'm going riding, rising, leaving, traveling, sailing away. Riding, rising, leaving, traveling, sailing away. I'm listening, watching, waiting for the trumpet to sound. Then my feet are finally gonna fly off the ground. High above the sinful world, one heavenly day, I'm going sailing, sailing away. Sailing, 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 sailing. High above the sinful world, one heavenly day, I'm going sailing, sailing away. I'm going riding, rising, leaving, traveling, sailing away. Riding, rising, leaving, traveling, sailing away. I'm listening, watching, waiting for the trumpet to sound. Then my feet are finally gonna fly off the ground. High above the sinful world, one heavenly day, I'm going sailing, sailing away. Sailing, 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 sailing. High above the sinful world, one heavenly day, I'm going sailing, sailing away.
Hey everyone, welcome back to Gospel Music USA. Our guest today, the LeFevre Quartet. Mike, this is a little bit of a change for
I'm
you.
kind of liking this,
Yeah,
I'll be honest with
you
you.
get to talk, you get to host, you get to sing.
I get to ask the questions and answer them both.
That's
don't I?
right.
It's like hiding your own Easter eggs, isn't it, Dave?
Well, at your age, you should know a lot about that. Anyway, Keith Plott, bass singer for LeFevre Quartet. Jordan LeFevre sings lead. Jeremy Peace sings tenor. Of course, Mike sings baritone. And it's been quite a year for the LeFevre Quartet, hasn't it?
It has. We had a great year. Our latest album produced LeFevre Quartet's first number one song.
Very good.
The Sun's Gonna Come Up. In fact, we did that, the very first song in the show. And so that's been exciting. And just a lot of good things happening, a lot of good things.
Well, and of course, you've spent a lot of time on the road with your group, and of course, in your past travels and everything. And you know as well as anybody that if anything unusual is going to happen, it's going to happen to a gospel singer.
Oh, yeah.
And I understand today that you have brought a story about a chicken.
Well, we each carry several stories, but this particular one, Jordan had reminded me of, and Keith is a lot of. He's a very entertaining guy. Look, I mean,
You might as well.
you might as well, if you don't mind, share that chicken story, because this is something people I'm sure would want to know.
Right now?
Right now.
A few years back, I was with Brian Friend Insurance. I was actually driving one night about 2:30 in the morning. And it was my shift was over. I was getting tired, so I pulled off the interstate and got off the exit. I got the stop sign. I looked both ways. And looked to my left, and there was a chicken at 2:30 in the morning with his head down. He's sitting like this in the middle of the road. And I thought I went to sleep. I thought I was dreaming. And I pinched myself, and I wasn't. But I got out of the bus and went over and, looked down at that chicken. I said, buddy, you're going to get ran over out here in the middle of the road like this. Didn't answer me, so I picked him up. And when I picked that chicken up, y'all, he picked his head up, his eyes got that big, and he went, I mean, it scared me to death. Thought I had hold of a demon, honestly. I mean, it scared me to death. But I finally picked him up, wrapped him up good, took him to the edge of the road where the bus was. I did not realize that there was a steep hill right there. I was just trying to get him out of the middle of the road. I set the chicken down. Well, he started rolling down that hill. All you seen was a head and his feet. Head and feet. He went all the way down that hill. I ain't seen him since, to be honest with you. Brian told me I should have brought him home, but I didn't. Put him in the bay and brought him home.
And that's a true story.
That's true.
That's what I was afraid of.
Yeah.
Well, okay, only on Gospel Music USA will you be taught such things. Yes. You've heard a few good songs. You've heard that. And Mike, you got to redeem yourself now, buddy.
Well, I just want to, each of the guys in the group, Jordan has been raised around gospel music from the time he was born. In fact, I remember him coming to his first concert in 1991, the year he was born. I was with Gold City at the time, and he was there in the audience that night. We did a live in Atlanta, Gold City Live. Yeah. And he was out there, and you've pretty much, it's been your life, hasn't it, buddy?
It really has.
Only job you've ever had.
That is true. I started, when you started the group, I started out as a sound man. I was 13 years old, really just the runt. I was the gopher. But, and through the years, I wasn't just given the jobs that I moved up through. I had to earn them. I was a sound man starting out, and then the position at the time we had a band, and the position for drums came available. So I auditioned for that and got that job, and still run sound too.
Right.
Seems like I accumulate jobs.
I was sitting here thinking, all right, you run sound, you sing, you drive.
I do drive.
Help set up, help tear down.
Work on the bus.
Yeah, you're pretty much not doing anything, aren't you?
Well, he can't. Well, we'd shut down without Jordan.
I've got to be a professional sound man, a professional driver, and a professional singer and get paid one salary. I don't know about that.
Now Jeremy pretty much, this is all he's ever done all of his life. Right. And you're from up in North Georgia. Most all of us are Georgia boys except for Keith. Now, Jeremy, your family sang.
They did. My granddad come from a long line of singers, actually. My granddad, he had a gospel group. He was a singer. And my mom and dad were singers. And then our sewing machine was a singer as well.
Oh, my goodness.
And I thought for a minute there we were going to have one sane person in this interview.
Sorry.
Thank you. You've blown that.
But he sang for a lot of years, too. And
yep.
He was sang years ago with Kingsman.
Sure did.
That was your first big...
It really was. Ray Dean gave me my first real start in gospel music.
So you've sang with not just one legend, you've sang with two legends.
I have, yes.
Which is a nice way of saying.
Oh, that was a nice thing to say.
Yes, it was. That's the only nice thing I'll say about you today. But all kidding aside, Jordan, what's it like singing with someone who has been not only your father, but someone who has played such an important role in shaping gospel music as we know it now?
And that's a really good question because, I do see him as my dad and my best friend, but, I naturally respect all the contributions he has made in gospel music. What a history. He's been with some of the nation's premier groups and been a part of so many awards and #1 songs, and taking the fact that he's my dad away from it, what an honor it is to stand beside somebody night after night that has been able to be a part of all those things.
If they want to find LeFevre Quartet, I can't talk today after you guys. If they want to find the LeFevre Quartet in the world of social media, where do they go?
They go to Where do they go, Jeremy?
TheLeFevreQuartet.com. You can also type in LeFevre Quartet into Facebook and Twitter and Instagram.
So if all of you chicken lovers out there would love to send a letter to the LeFevre Quartet, Jeremy just told you where to send that letter. Don't go anywhere. We are coming right back. I'm going to go take a tranquilizer. Don't go anywhere. More LeFevre Quartet on the way. Well, I will admit I'm a little bit surprised that you came back, but I'm glad that you did. Welcome back to Gospel Music USA. Our guest today, the LeFevre Quartet. Here they are one more time.
To the Garden of Eden, God had accepted just one sacrifice, the blood of the Lamb to atone for the sinner, a shadow of one who would pay the dear price. Tried but not guilty, since I've been forgiven, in debt but it's settled once and for all. A slave but I'm free now, chains have been broken, was dead but I'm living, and it's all because a payment of love was given in blood on a rugged old cross. Jesus would die for the ultimate pardon to all who would come broken and lost. He paid it all with his shame and his suffering, and his blood is still flowing from that old rugged cross. Tried but not guilty, since I've been forgiven, in debt but it's settled once and for all. A slave but I'm free now, chains have been broken, was there but I'm living, and it's all because a payment of love was given in blood on a rugged old cross. The dear Lamb of God left his glory above to bear it to dark Calvary. On that old cross he suffered and died to pardon and sanctify me. Tried but not guilty, since I've been forgiven, in debt but it's settled once and for all. A slave but I'm free now, chains have been broken, was there but I'm living, and it's all because a payment of love was given in blood on a rugged old cross. On a rugged old cross.
A gate called Beautiful, but what an ugly sight. A lame man from his birth, begging there day and night. But here comes Peter, here comes John, they're heading down his way. And what they had to offer him dismayed this old man say. Now,
I'm not a beggar anymore, I have been restored.
no need to sit around and mope, I've been given hope. Filled with joy, filled with peace,
Peace filled with praise, I know.
what you receive when you believe is worth much more than silver or gold.
Silver or gold,
Silver or gold.
silver or gold.
You might be crippled from a burden in your past. Been searching for so long, freedom from pain at last. But there's a Savior passing by with healing in his wings. The miracle he'll give to you will surely make you sing.
I'm not a beggar anymore, I have been restored.
No need to sit around and mope, I've been given hope.
Filled with joy, filled with peace,
Filled with praise I know
what you receive when you believe.
is worth much more than silver or gold.
Silver or gold. So
Rise up, rise on up today.
yeah, rise up,
Rise up, rise up and proclaim.
rise up and proclaim. Rise up and proclaim.
I'm not a beggar anymore, I have been restored. No need to sit around and mope, cause I've been given hope.
Filled with joy, filled with peace, filled with praise, I know.
What you receive when you believe is worth much more than silver or
I'm not a beggar anymore, I have been restored.
no need to sit around and mope, cause I've been given hope.
Filled with joy, filled with peace,
Filled with praise I know
what you receive when you believe.
is worth much more than silver or gold.
What you receive when you believe.
Is worth much more than silver or gold.
Man, one of the greatest tragedies in America is the church walking down the aisle of compromise and complacency. If there was ever a time that the church needs to come together and stand for what is holy and stand for what is not right, now's the time for the church to arise and tell the world that Jesus is the answer.
We've sat silent for too long, while the darkness ever strong cast a shadow on this land. But we're the children of the light, we have hope that's burning bright. We weren't made to cower, we were made to stand. Let the church stand for what is holy, let us stand for what is right, and live our lives as a beacon in the night. No, we will not compromise. Let the church, let the church, let the church, let the church arise.
All the trouble in these times doesn't catch God by surprise. He's still sovereign over all.
So let the ones who bear his name be bold and unashamed, and with expectation answer when he calls. stand for what is holy. Let us stand for what is right. And live our lives as a beacon in the night. No, we will not compromise. Let the church, let the church, let the church, let the church arise. These are days for the church to be who Christ has made the church to be. Let the church